Hello and good afternoon. This is your girl, Lady Mocha. Welcome to Cafe de Paris. First of all, I have to thank all of you. It's been so much support and so much love. I have to give a quick shout out to some of you. If I miss you, forgive me. It's not that somebody stand out more than the other. It's just certain ones who I notice kind of been following me for a minute. So those who being dedicated to me, I have to be dedicated to them. That's just how I operate. I want to give a shout out to Nicole Hunt. She's been one of the black women following me. She's been co-signing on my truth. It's been a few of them, and she's definitely been one that's really been loyal to a lot of my chats. So just to show you men, to all of you men out there, it is some black women who understand what y'all are going through with us. We can identify with y'all, okay? So believe you me, everybody, all black women ain't on here, is against y'all principles and how y'all perceive us and how y'all operate with our way of thinking. Believe me, it's a lot of black women who can identify with y'all way more than what y'all think we can. So just keep in mind that when I'm doing these videos, not only is it giving y'all knowledge, but it's also a revelation to a lot of other black women who have personally went through the struggle, or know other black women who have gone through the struggle as well, who want to be corrected, who want to get to that point of life where they can change their way of thinking, change their behavior, change their mentality, all of that. So just keep that in mind. As you look underneath these comments, you see there are some black women that's feeling exactly what I'm saying. So the way y'all feel about us, the way the majority of y'all black men feel about black women, hell, some black women who feel that same way about other black women. So some of us, we're on y'all team too. We understand y'all limited in choices as far as black women of quality, and and that's unfortunate, because the morals have changed over the years, and you're just dealing with a totally different breed of black women, and it's unfortunate that it's just like that. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to back to Nicole Hunt, Big Cha-Cha, Sean P, Donna Martinez, Yolo Solo, Terrell Shelby, F Goodwill, G Porter, Joaquin Smith, Priest Brooklyn, John Williams, GDV, I believe that's Port 70. The list goes on. Tiny Head, Red Supreme, you've been kind of following me for a while. I appreciate it. Water Sniper, Dacian Tarvin. If I'm butchering y'all name, I apologize. Mike Anderson, Gregory Williams, Albert Smalls, C. Giddy. It's so many of y'all. I appreciate it. Lionheart, straight up, I can go on and on. I appreciate all of y'all for y'all support. I thank you for the positive feedback. I also appreciate that a lot of people have been commenting with real feedback, something, been giving me feedback with substance, something I'm able to kind of think and reflect and reiterate about. It kind of just broadens my horizons to where I realize I have to do more research, and as far as the topics that I discuss. So keep the questions going, because that's basically a big help for me. That lets me know what I need to step my game on and so forth. But we're going to go ahead on, because you know what? I owe you guys a part 2 for profit producers, okay? And the reason why I know I had to do a part 2 on this, because there's so many elements to this type of situation. For those of you who just tuning in and who didn't catch my part 1 of profit producers, basically, to give you a brief scenario on what the topic is concerning, it's concerning women who are producing children for profit, who are intentionally having children as a way to support their financial means versus working, getting a job, going to school, or doing something legitimate, that, doing, basically have a legitimate way of earning revenue, to be able to take care of themselves as well as their children. And you have some, what I would like to call hood hyenas, who make a living off of this. And I can't really say females, and I notice I use that word a lot, because some of these hyenas, I can't even consider them females, or even consider them a woman, because the intent and the mentality, their motives behind their way of thinking, and their logics is all screwed up. They're not mentally wired correctly for them to think that the only way to be able to support themselves is by going to bed unprotected, raw, with random dudes, and producing children just to make a paycheck. They don't have any type of real self-confidence, or they don't have no real drive. They don't have no real motivation, in other words, to really go out there and hustle and make money in a legitimate way like real women do. Okay, and these are the type of females, unfortunately, these hyenas. The population is increasing more and more each day, and it's unfortunate, guys, because you have to keep in mind, a lot of these hyenas have been produced by other hyenas, which is their mothers. Okay, so this is unfortunately an ongoing cycle that's going to take some time to be broken. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we can't teach something to others that we don't know. We can't give somebody something that we don't even have in ourselves to give. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead on and proceed with the profit producers topic that I decided to do a continuation on this topic. So, this is my first issue that I want to address with these profit producers. A lot of them, we know, intentionally have these children out of spite. As I mentioned before, these children are brought here for a paycheck. Okay? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. If you decided to go to bed with a man unprotected and intentionally get pregnant to the point you went into full fruition with your pregnancy. And I'm not saying that a woman is wrong for aborting a child or keeping a child, but my thing is, you bringing children here in a messed up situation, so you killing them one way or another. Okay, so I can't tell a woman what to do with her body. And I mean, nobody ain't got to send me no hate notes or nothing like that, as far as I'm not encouraging anyone to abort their child, anything like that. But what we do need to do is abort this mentality that it is okay to produce these children and bring them here and not even have the respect and the dignity to, be able to, you're allowing your children to come in corrupt situations based on the way they was conceived and how you brought them here. So you're cheating your child from the womb, period. Just based on the concept as far as to how that child was conceived and brought into this world, because you didn't have a connection with this person. Y'all didn't have a relationship. Y'all wasn't married. I mean, there was no real substance between you and this individual other than a child was conceived. So it's evident, that this child is not going to get the best type of parenting based on the way they was produced here. So with that, what needs to be stated is, a lot of these women who try to trap you, they're not understanding that they actually end up trapping themselves when they make decisions like this, when they make gut bucket ghetto hyena decisions like this. What I mean is by trapping themselves, because I know a lot of you automatically gonna think, how the hell is a woman trapping herself? She the one getting the money, she getting the paycheck. I mean, I'm the one out here got to hustle and put money on the books every month and everything. This is what I mean by a woman who traps herself. First of all, ladies, for those of you who are adopting this type of lifestyle and you have made this a habit, having children from random men that you don't have a relationship with or you never had any emotional ties with, what you're not understanding is when you make this type of decision, you're taking a very big chance for the simple fact that when children are produced, you have to deal with what is called genetics. And what I mean by genetic factors, think about it. Whenever you had to go to a doctor's appointment or you had to get a physical, you know how the doctor asks you a series of questions about your family background. They'll ask you, does diabetes run in your family? They'll ask you, does mental illness run in your family? They ask you, does kidney failure running in the family? And even though these seems like very simple questions, they ask you this for a reason. The reason doctors ask you about any medical or health issues within your bloodline, within your family, is because it gives them an indication as to what type of medical or mental illnesses that you can possibly potentially adopt based on your genetics. Okay, based on the type of medical and mental issues in your family, you could become a candidate of receiving those same type of issues. That's like if a mother who's pregnant with a child, she's HIV positive. 9 times out of 10, that child could end up inheriting that same type of disease as well. It's been some cases where it skipped some people, and that's just by the grace of God. And there's been some cases in which it hasn't skipped. It has gone from generation to generation. If you have high blood pressure, look in your family background. Maybe your daddy had it, your mama had it. If there's mental retardation, look in your family background. This is my point. Women who are up here making these type of decisions, you're not realizing what type of child you're producing. And what I mean by that is, you don't know this individual's history. You women who sit up here and intentionally have these children out of spite to collect a check, or maybe you're trying to trap the man, it may not be about the money. You want to prove a point, you want to try to lock this man in, and because you want a relationship with him and he don't want a relationship with you. It's all kind of reasons. Whatever the reasons most of the time they're ridiculous. Okay, but this is the thing that a lot of black women do not sit and think about, because you're too busy thinking about the paycheck, but you're not looking at the other elements. Or you're too busy thinking about, conceiving this child because this man has a family, or this man is in a relationship with somebody. So I mean, everybody got their little spiteful reasons or their little spiteful agendas. But what you're not understanding is, if this man could possibly have medical or mental issues. And although this child, you may be looking at the fact you're going to get a check or income from the fact that you produced this child, you don't know what the hell else you are producing. Because, like I mentioned earlier, all kind of families, trees have different issues. Some family trees, alcoholism runs in the family. Some family trees have incest. Child abuse, child molestation. I already mentioned alcoholism. Abuse. You got some blood families who have all types of different curses. All type of genetical issues. And that, unfortunately, that's something that a lot of these women don't take into consideration. And when these children get here, they acting out, or they having all kind of problems, and you're not understanding where it came from. The majority of it come from the fact that you have produced this child with the person who has all type of genetic, medical, and mental issues in his family. many black women think that deep? Think about it. And for you black men, same thing. I told y'all earlier on one of my videos, look into people background. There's 3 different factors that make up our background. You have what's called genetics. Is one. Genetics is what you were born with. Don't you know there's certain genes within your body that you're just, it's cemented in you through birth? I'm gonna break all of them down in a few, but that's the first one, genetic factors. The second one is your environmental factors. Your environment has a lot to do with your upbringing. So if you conceive this child from this man and you don't know him that well, but you're raising this child in the projects, or you're raising him in an environment that's very hostile, where there's not really good examples, you're going to add that as a second issue on top of the first issue, where it may be a genetic issue. So that them 2 different things you may that you may be up against that you don't know about. The genetics and the environmental, and the third one is spiritual. And the reason why I speak on this from a spiritual standpoint, because you have what's called generational curses. And basically generational curses are different type of curses that has transcended from every generation. If you look at your family tree, every family tree, I don't care how rich, successful, black, white, whatever their cultural or racial differences, every family tree has some type of curse in it. Whether if that curse is divorce, whether if that curse is abuse, or it's so many types of different curses within the family bloodline. Drug use, I mean, granddaddy was on drugs, daddy ended up on drugs, now his son on drugs. All of these 3 different factors that I mentioned are what a woman is up against when she produces a child with a man she has no history, no knowledge, no connection of. These children come here and they have all kind of behavioral issues. Teachers calling you, you need to pick him up from school, you know, he's acting out, or you got the doctor, psychologist telling you, counselors from your school telling you have to put your child on some type of medication, Prozac and Ritalin and all of that. This is something that women don't think about. You produce these children and trying to trap somebody, and you can trap yourself based on taking on additional problems that you wasn't nowhere near aware of or prepared to even deal with. These things have to be taken into consideration. Same thing, gentlemen. Look into a woman you're dating, a woman you're in a serious relationship with. Look at her family background. Look at her mother. Look at how her mother carries herself. Look at how her grandmother carries herself. Look at the aunts. Look at the sisters. And I will say there are some exceptions to the rules. You have some people who choose to go outside of the curse that was implanted in their family. It could be a household with 8, 9 sisters and that's under the same roof. All of them got children except 1 or 2 who endured the struggle and realized, you know what, this ain't for me. I know this is how we came up. I know this is all we know. I can't do this. You know, it's always 1 or 2 that's willing to go outside of that curse. And that's an excellent thing. But that's the first point. When you try to be slick and thinking you trapping somebody, you trap yourself. Because you end up having all kind of problems that you may not have seen coming. So be careful with that. DNA is everything. I'm telling you, you will save yourself a lot of drama if you look into people's background. Go to their family reunions. Go to somewhere where people want to let their hair down and really show you who they are. You know what I mean? Go to a barbecue or cookout. Don't go to something too formal like a wedding or a church dinner where everybody's going to put on their best faces. Go somewhere to a cookout where people going to get drunk and tell a whole lot of business, you know what I'm saying? and you know, that put yourself in a situation, go around them, during a regular event where you can really see what type of people you dealing with. Background is everything. If you're a man and you want to be in a serious relationship with a woman, check her family out. I'm telling you, it tells you a whole lot. If her mom off the chain, 9 times out of 10 she gonna be off the chain. Or if you see she comes from a family where they got all the issues, and you see that she's not comfortable with the issues her family has, then that may be a different story. But you got to kind of weigh, if you willing to take that chance. But that's the first thing. Women who try to trap men end up trapping themselves. Being profit producers. The second thing is, this is another issue that black women need to understand. Sometimes things don't always go according to plan. We get in situations with motives. We get involved in situations with shady intentions. And sometimes women, we can allow greed to get the best of us, especially when we can't have our way. We like to up the ante. We tend to take things up a notch when we're not being heard, or when we don't feel like we're getting what we want. That is when the beast comes out of us, where we have no control, no boundaries. We don't set no boundaries. We don't set no limitations on how we react to situations that we created. Starting with this point that I'm getting ready to make. Fathers can get full custody. And see, a lot of y'all don't believe that. But there's a lot of women out there who have tried to be greedy and who have intentionally had children to profit, and it has backfired. One of my followers, Nicole Hunt, she brought that up. And it's a very risky thing that these profit producers basically taking a high risk chance on, because these men are getting smart now. Now we don't have too many thought targets. A lot of these men are getting hip to the game. They ain't playing it. They ain't playing the radio. You have men going to court, they fighting back, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't blame them one bit. If you are struggling taking care of your child and you don't have the money, and you have to keep going to court to keep getting the order modified, where you need to increase. Maybe it's not the money. You need to let that father raise that child then. Because I'm like this. If it's really about your child, you're going to put all your differences aside to make sure that child is straight. If you're out here struggling in projects, you moving from house to house, people putting you out, and every time you falling out with some family, or you falling out with a female, another hyena like you or whatever, and you got to move and commute your children from place to place to place, why make your child suffer under your misery? Especially if his father is doing better than you. His father's in a home, has a more solid foundation. He doesn't have all kind of women in and out the house. He's been with the same woman. He's stable. He's doing good. Why not let your child have that? Not only will your child benefit, hell, you will benefit. That'll give you time to get your shit together. It's not always about. That's the problem with black women. You putting your focus in the wrong place. You're too busy worrying about he over there doing good. He got a new car. He got a new house. His wife got a nice car. They doing good. I want my child over there, because you doing bad. You so afraid that this child is going to stand a good chance with somebody else doing something that you can't do, that you don't have the abilities or the tools to work with to do. Well, I can personally relate. My mom went through that with us. She was at a very rocky stage in her life, and it wasn't because she was trifling or she didn't care or she was messing up the money and we wasn't eating and being taken care of. Life just happens. You fall down on your luck. Things get out of control. You don't have the money or the finances to grab it. You know what she did? She called my father and said, I need you to temporarily get custody of my children for a while. I don't even want the child support. Take my kids. I'm literally in the streets right now. I need to get myself together. My mom was going from house to house. When she got to that second house, she said, oh no, I can't drag my children through this. She sent us up north with my dad, who's a retired Coast Guard chief now. So he financially, he was in a better place. It's not that he had more love or less love than what my mother had for us. My mother was down on her luck. Child support wasn't doing it. It came a point when the money didn't matter to her. She wanted us to be straight. And you know how me and my siblings benefited? My father was able to put us in the best schools. He brought me my first car. And I mean, everything she couldn't produce. And what women are not understanding is you got to look at it long term. So what if him and the next, your baby daddy and his wife or whatever could do for your children what you can't? They help your children build a future, you fool. Do you realize that whatever they put in your children, you're going to benefit from it in the long run? Do you understand that? If he and his wife are doing better financially and you struggling and you so selfish and you so worried you're going to lose a little bit of change once a month, if you let your child go be with the father and his wife or whatever, you is cheating the child. And you cheating yourself. You can't get ahead trying to lag this child with you all because you want to keep a few pennies. It's holding you back. Sometimes we have to let go in order to gain. Sometimes you got to lose to gain. It's just like that sometimes. It don't make you a bad person. It don't mean you know what I mean? You giving him power. Too many of you black women, y'all on this damn power trip with these kids. And you wonder why they so screwed up. If you struggling taking care of these kids, believe me, them food stamps and them child support is not going to help you in the long run. You're going to regret it. You're robbing your child from opportunities. You're robbing them from a blessing. So what? Long as you and the wife getting along and she respecting you and treating your child good, why is you holding your child back because he's in a better place and you ain't? Don't be intimidated. Be motivated. Don't be intimidated. Be inspired. If him and his old lady doing good over there, let them have that child for a while so you can get to where they are and you get your child back in a couple of years. Your child ain't gonna hate you. Let me tell you something. You're a real mother. Another woman can never take your place. No, that child will never see another woman as their mother if you are a real mother. My stepmoms, both of them are the bomb. And I thank my mom for allowing 2 other women to come in my life and be there for me at moments when she can't. That's a blessing. Give kudos to these men if they pick up a woman that got some substance that could be there for your child. Stop being a hater. Worrying about what kind of house and cars he living in. So what? Your child gonna be staying in that same nice house and riding in that same nice car. Your child benefiting. What the hell wrong with y'all out here? Y'all focusing on the wrong stuff. So that's the next point I wanted to address. Give that man custody if it's too much for you. Sometimes things get so bad, it's not even about a check increase. You need to be relieved. You need to be relieved. You may need a break. But if you try to be greedy, let me tell y'all something. A lot of times people do the right things, but they do it for the wrong reasons. You got women who so adamant they don't want nobody raising their children. I don't want nobody else raising my child. I don't want nobody else having to take care of my child. You saying that, but your intent behind it is nowhere matching up with what you're saying. You want to hold on to that child as a power as a power tool and as a pawn. And as long as that's your real intent, then you're never going to get far. You're never going to get far because you're too busy focused on hating what you can't have versus making a decision that's going to benefit your child in the long run. A lot of us black women cannot move forward because we got so much hate in our hearts. That's why a lot of us walk around here mean, nasty, and attitude. You walking, you got all this hate polluting your system because you mad with life and you mad that you make decisions that you can't reverse. And we all make mistakes, but guess what? Just because you fall in the mud, that don't mean you have to wallow in it. I mean, get your life. For real. I'm staying on that too long. But give the child to their father if you're struggling. And there's nothing about child support. And I'm going to make this point. My video going over 30 minutes. Oh my goodness. Let me tell y'all something. Child support is a curse to a lot of you black women. I'm going to tell y'all why. A lot of y'all ain't doing nothing with that damn money. Y'all is playing with this child support. I be seeing y'all in the nail shop swiping your EBT card in rainbows, swiping your EBT card. I don't know if y'all know what rainbows is. That's like a little hoochie clothing store. But I like rainbows. Using your EBT card everywhere else. Not understanding that one day this money is going to stop. Eventually you're going to look up. That child going to be 18. What do you do? What do you got to show for? Other than materialistic things, Gucci bags, lace wigs, rent-a-center furniture and stuff like that. I mean, what do you have to show for? A lot of y'all sit up here and play with it. You playing with this child support. You playing with this money. You not making good investment. And I hear a lot of y'all try to come up with all kind of excuses. Well, I need child support to pay my light bill, to pay my rent, and this and that. Let me tell you something. Child support shouldn't even be going towards that. Because even if you didn't have a child, you still was going to need to pay your rent and your water bill and your light bill. Child support, that is what it's called. This child support for the child. Not support the nail salon. Not support the wig shop. Not support the mall and Toyota dealership. I heard a guy do a video one time. I don't know his name, but he said that he was kind of on a simp level to me. He was on a simp level. But I remember he made a statement, and if I remember, I'm going to find his name so next time I bring him up. But he made up a statement that a man should never be concerned with what a child is doing with her child support. If she got to pay rent and she got to pay the light bill, your kids need lights. Your child need a place to stay. So what if she get a new car? Your child needs a car to ride in. Are you freaking serious? Why would you give these hyenas that type of information? You a grown woman. You supposed to have all that stuff anyway. That's not what that's for. A lot of y'all are not making good on child support because 18 years look like a long time. But before you know it, that child goes from 3 to 7 to 13, 15. In 2 years, that's it. A lot of y'all not being wise with your child support. All these years, you should have been putting that money up for college, whatever, investing into a home, something legit. But y'all be everywhere. Y'all be to the clubs, traveling out of town, with enterprise rental cars, going out of town, balling out, balling on a budget, as they would say. And you turn around and you look up, you look back, you got nothing to show for. Your child grown, the child done moved out the house and all this and that. A lot of y'all are not being wise with this child support, and it catches up with you. I know someone personally, and I'm not going to say any names, but she was receiving child support, and she ran the show for a long time. She called the shots for a long time with the child's father. Anytime he gets something, he got to hide it. He couldn't get a new car, couldn't get a new house, couldn't get nothing. Now he was giving her child support, and you still up here questioning it. Every time you hear he got something, oh, I heard you got a new car, or I heard you got a new house, but all you sending me is $2 something a month. Hell, people got to live. You don't mind going and balling out, so he can't. All them years of complaining and bickering, you was getting the child support, and now your children grown, and you don't have no more now than what you had back then, cause you took the money and you played with it, thinking that's a lifetime warranty. Child support is not forever, ladies. It is not. It's not forever. Because things, you got what's called life. Things happen. That child father could pass away, and, you know, all of whatever he had left went towards other children. I mean, you just cannot predict how things are going to turn out. So while you being slick and shady and thinking, you know, you done produced this child, you know, you're going to be able to, you got you a lifetime meal ticket, things always got a way of backfiring. And see, another thing too is y'all don't realize in some states, and letting you fathers know this, if that child gets incarcerated in the process of you paying child support, you better call defects right away and get that child support to stop, because that mother's still not supposed to be collecting the check if that child goes to juvenile or prison. Yeah, ladies, I'm blowing up your spot. Sure am. I'm blowing up the hyenas, not the ones who doing right with your child support, because children need to be supported. I'm not knocking those who receiving it. I'm talking about them ones who playing with it and balling out and using it for power, all because you made a mistake you can't take back, and you want the man to help you pay for it. Child support don't last forever. Have a plan, because it will end. And it don't take child support to end it. Like I said, things come up in life. I know situations where the child's father had died, and the benefits to stop. This is my last point I wanted to address with the profit producers. Keep in mind that your child is being cheated out of things other than money. And this is what I mean by that. When you produce children out of spite to get a paycheck, because you want to use this as a tool for you to benefit, keep in mind that your child is getting cheated out of little things, because instead of that child is getting a check instead of having a real connection with the father. Meaning, because you didn't know him, he didn't know you. Everybody can't separate that. And I know a lot of people saying, well, that got nothing to do with the child and everything, but it is what it is. I mean, in the perfect world, yes, it doesn't. But if a man knows you full of drama, and you are hard to communicate with, you just argumentative, and you just chaotic, everybody not going to deal with that. And I can't say that man is less than a man because he won't connect with that child, because the mother's so much drama. Who wants to go see the child when you got to argue with the mama, you got to cuss out, you got to fight with her, she calling the man on you? At the end of the day, fellas, I get it. If you cannot be involved in that child's life until that child get old enough for you to explain to them, I couldn't be there because it was always something, blah, 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 blah. I get it. People can sit up here and say all day, you wrong for not being involved. You wrong. Some people make it unbearable. Some of these black women make it unbearable for a man to be able to have a relationship with his child. You drama. He calling about the child. You want to bring up stuff that y'all went through in the past. Oh, you bought her car, you did this, you did that for her. What the hell I got to do with me coming to get little JJ this weekend? Using any opportunity to bring up other stuff because you still hurt and mad and bitter. about things not working out for you the way you thought it was going to work out. Your child gets cheated when you're full of drama and a man sees he can't get nowhere with you. Let me tell you something. Men are allergic to drama. Women, we catty. We could go back and forth all day with drama because we childish like that in some ways. Women are very catty. A man ain't about to listen to all that going. A man ain't about to deal with all that. A man will run away from drama quicker than a fart. You want to run a man away? Be drama. They don't have the patience for it. Men have a shorter attention span. They're not about to listen to you cussing or hollering and you want to put on the scene. They will run away from you. And I will respect a man who will run away from you than to beat you and put his hands on you in front of your child. Either way, you're going to be mad. If he be man enough and walk away and don't say nothing to you, ignore you, you mad. He put his hands on you, you calling the man on him. Men, don't even take yourself through that. If you're in a situation with a woman that's going to be unbearable, make it complicated for you, disengage. And I hate to say it, unless you can deal with the drama, unless you can deal with every time you go around there to pick up little JJ, she cussing and hollering and screaming, and she's standing outside on the porch causing a scene. If you kind of man you can block all of that out and still be involved with your child, then I'm all for it. By no means am I encouraging people to leave their children and not take care of their children, but you got to know what battles to pick and fight. If you know she's going to be drama and have you locked up, you're not going to be able to be there for your child anyway. Sometimes you got to disengage until that child is old enough to where you can explain and talk to them and say, I could not be there based on blah, blah, blah. 9 out of 10, if he live with this woman, he's going to believe what you said because he see his mama drama. She sees her mother as a hot mess. So you don't always have to, you know what I mean? You got to know when to pick your battles, you know. But I may end up having to do a part 3 because I'm going way over time. But this is Lady Mocha with Cafe de Paris. Again, I'll speak on that last thing on the part 3. I'm going to cut it short. I thank y'all for tuning in, getting some of this knowledge. You know, like I said, you know, if it doesn't apply, do not reply. This ain't all for black women. It's for the hyenas. You know you a hyena. I don't have to let you know you a hyena, okay? With that being said, your girl Lady Mocha is getting ready to sign off. I got to go make a trip to Starbucks. It is hot as hell in here. I'd be glad when my husband put a unit in his powder room. But with that, I am going to tell you guys, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that thumb up. I'm giving you some knowledge. It's for free. It's for free. Ain't no money in subscribing to me or thumbing me up. Give your girl her props. Give her respect where it is due. This is your girl, Lady Mocha, and I'm signing off. And y'all all have a wonderful and blessed day. And don't forget, comment to me on this topic about profit producers. What did you think about the tips I gave you? What did you think needed to be added or subtracted? I will holler at y'all later. Like, subscribe. Another video coming soon. Holla at y'all later. Bye.